slow, live it up, watching time go. Planning moves, staying solid to this cheat code. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. Live slow, live it up, watching time go. Making moves, staying solid to this cheat code. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. This how it is, the mission's Benjamins. And fuck the drama and the bullshit, we ain't little kids. My circle small, but my riders heart, they never quit. Get your money, keep it gangsta, solid, straight legit. Never switch like the real ones that die for this. It's fucked up, but this is truly how it is. I hope you're ready if you're picking this like full of sin. No turning back, I represent my Vario to the end. Fuck the fakes and the snakes and everyone that hates. I'm not phased, I won't break, bitch, I'll never change.
You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment.
What's good, G-Life? This right here is California, and today we'll actually be making our way to several different locations to cover all rider neighborhoods. Riders, another term that is commonly used within the the gangster world. Homies refer to themselves as gangsters, cholos, riders. You know what I mean? That's one of the terms. You're a rider, somebody that puts in work, somebody that's always riding out there looking for the enemy. Not riding with a W, but with a R. Riding as in like you're out there and looking and keeping it active. You know what I mean? Not as in like riding on walls. Not that kind of riding. So these riders are definitely real. Neighborhoods that put it down and put theirs on the map. And so, with no further ado, let's get into it right here. Now, we'll be starting off with probably the most recognizable one of the riders. When people hear about, rider neighborhoods, it's probably the first one that comes into mind. And for this neighborhood, we actually have to make our way to the danger zone. And the danger zone, I do mean the MacArthur Park area. The MacArthur Park area is a very treacherous, very well-known area within LA County, for its gang, for how jam-packed full of different gangs it is, you know what I mean? Where every other street is literally a neighborhood, you know what I mean? Because you have the orphans there, you have, MS, you have 18, you have, Playboys, you have everybody's just within that area by the MacArthur Park area. It's an area that is very notorious and treacherous, and one of the areas that people, always refer to, walk with caution right here. And this is the area where we're able to find, one of these rider neighborhoods, which is a Vario CRS. Vario CRS, translating to Vario Crazy Riders. Crazy Riders is a Vario that has already been right here since the 70s when this neighborhood was established. And this neighborhood is roughly more than 100 homies to the Crazy Riders Vario. And they do have a branch also in Mexico. So in total, they're like about almost 200 to 300 members to the Crazy Riders gang. They do have a pretty strong presence, you know what I mean? Due to the fact that, it's so jam-packed in that area, with different gangs that, it's surprisingly how large these neighborhoods actually get, because you would think that since it's so, cluttered with gangs right there, that, that the neighborhoods wouldn't become, that large, but they actually do tend to become that large. That's how overpopulated it is within this area. It's no joke right here, you know what I mean? And now, so the Crazy Riders Vario is everything that's from Grandview Street all the way to James M. Wood Boulevard. James M. Wood Boulevard, I would say their territory still extends to where the Hope and Peace Park is at, and from that all the way to 7th Street. So everything that's in the middle is considered their Vario. So throughout 8th Street, throughout Alvarado Street, throughout West Lake Avenue, throughout Lake Street, all of that is considered their Vario, which is a pretty decent size of chunk of territory, you know what I mean? Because there's a bunch of apartment, plexes right there in units, and like I said, it'd definitely be cracking right here, you know what I mean? Close to the MacArthur Park area, towards that end. It ain't no joke, homie, you know what I mean? This Vario definitely with the business, continue to put theirs on the map, and been putting theirs on the map for the Vario Crazy Riders, and still holding it down. The next Vario that we have on the list, now for this one, we actually need to stay within the area. Like I said, when I said it's jam-packed full of a lot of neighborhoods, I mean it's jam-packed full of a lot of neighborhoods, including rider neighborhoods. Because in this area, you still have Varios like the Vario ERS. Vario ERS translating to Vario Easy Riders. Sometimes, ERS, or you see it, Easy Riders, you know what I mean? You know, that's what the easy, you know, a short way of writing easy, you know, as in like something is easy. Now the, you know, because putting work to them and banging all that, it ain't nothing to them, you know, it's easy for them. You know, and this neighborhood was established in the 1970s, you know, but they have clicas throughout Los Angeles, so not just right here in the west side, you know what I mean, where they started, where they originated at, you know. It operates right there, obviously, in the West Adam and Central area of Los Angeles, you know, that is known as Easy Town. That's how they call that area, you know what I mean? That's how they get down. Now, they're known to rock the Raiders, you know, obviously, and they have no connection to the Vario Crazy Riders. You know, people often confuse these barrios because when Crazy Riders, when they hit up their neighborhood, you know, at the end of Riders, it ends with ERS. So people will often think that they're written together or clicked up or whatever. No, that's just the way, you know. That's why Crazy Riders, if you look at how they write Riders, they don't even do the E no more. You know what I mean? They just do a C instead, you know. It's not that they don't know how to spell or they forgot to finish the hit up. It's just that way it separates them, because they're both Crazy Riders and Easy Riders are located within the same area. You know, you will see the confusion. And now the Vario Easy Riders is located also on the east side, which are known as the East Side Easy Riders. So these are the West Side Easy Riders, and then they have a clica that are in, you know, the east side and that are known as the East Side Easy Riders. And their Vario stretches everything from Venice Boulevard to Washington, near Vermont on Orchard Avenue. The clicas consist of the 17th Street, the Downers, the Locos. They have several clicas, you know what I mean? Now, they do share, like, you know, the territory close to, you know, several Varios, like the 17th Street Crooks, the S4M, the Black Neighborhood, you know what I mean? Like I said, it's chaotic, you know what I mean? And this is the Vario within the neighborhood of the rapper Youngster, aka Young Trigger. This was his Vario, you know. Homie ended up, you know, passing away. He was a female homie, you know what I mean? He was definitely, you know, doing his thing. And also the rapper Chino, Big Chino, not Chino Grande. This was the Vario in which they were from, you know what I mean? They were from the Vario Easy Riders. And their Vario still up, continues to hold it down and put theirs on the map and, you know, keep representing. Now, to find the next Vario on the list, we actually have to make our way to San Diego, but not just San Diego, but to the area that is known as Oceanside. Oceanside is where we'll be able to find the next Vario within on the list. And this Vario being the MVR neighborhood. Now, MVR translating to Vario Mid-Valley Riders. Yes, Mid-Valley Riders. And Mid-Valley Riders is a real Vario. You know, I was seeing, you know, people trying to say this and that. And it's a Vario that is still active, you know, within the area of Oceanside, with more than 80 members to the Mid-Valley Riders neighborhood. You know, now this is a neighborhood that hasn't been around as long, so it's not as old as some of these other, you know, San Diego gangs like Sherman, Logan, you know, National City, and battles like that. But nonetheless, homie, they handle business. You know what I'm saying? Right there in Oceanside. Now, their Vario is everything that you can find within Fireside, the Fireside Park. So, you know, in Oceanside, that's their main domain, their dojo, the heart of the hood. That's where they get it on and cracking. You know what I mean? That's their dojo, their domain. And, you know, in Oceanside, you have several neighborhoods just within Oceanside. You know what I'm saying? So it does get chaotic in Oceanside, you know, with more than, you know, Oceanside having more than like 9 neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? So just within that, you know, small area, it does get, you know, jam-packed full of different neighborhoods. So, you know, you do get it on and cracking right there. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I said, parts of San Diego crack as well, you know, not just, you know, Los Angeles or Orange County and, you know, stuff like that. It gets chaotic in the SD, you know what I mean? And in areas like Oceanside, you know. These guys ain't no joke, ain't no suckers, you know what I mean? The Mid-Valley Riders is a real gang that's been doing it and putting theirs on the map and holding it down for the MVR right there. And yes, it is Mid-Valley Riders, not Rascals, and they have no connection to, you know, the other Mid-Valley neighborhoods that are out there. Like I was seeing people put, they're their own gang, and you know, they got no connections to the rest of those other neighborhoods, and it is a real neighborhood that puts it down. But that's what's up with the Vario Mid-Valley Riders. Another neighborhood that we have to make our way to the area of Murrieta. And not just Murrieta, but also they're located in the area of Utah. Salt Lake City, to be exact, is where you can find this neighborhood. So you can find them in Murrieta and in Salt Lake City. Now, they started in Murrieta roughly around the late 90s, early 2000s is when this it started off as a crew that became a neighborhood around 2014, which is the Vario WRS. WRS translating to Wicked Riders. Now, when they were a crew, they stood for Wicked Riders and Wicked Rascals. That was the term used by this neighborhood. But when transitioned into a neighborhood, it dropped the use of Rascals and it just stayed to Wicked Riders. So Wicked Riders is the official title of this neighborhood. You know what I mean? And it was a tag banging crew. Because they weren't like a tagging crew. They were always tag bangers that transitioned into neighborhood. And I was told that in Murrieta that there were roughly about 25 members, and in Salt Lake City that there were about 30 members. So in total, there are like about roughly 75 members to this neighborhood. So a very small neighborhood, but nonetheless a real neighborhood. Shout out to the homie Pee Wee, Crons, and Listo out the Wicked Riders neighborhood. Feed me, homeboys. I actually knew Crons pretty good. I heard the homie got like about 25, so it sucks to hear that. But it is what it is. This is a real neighborhood that does real things. Even though you don't see them up as much as some of these other neighborhoods, nonetheless, they're the real deal. They are who they are, and they still be representing for their neighborhood and holding it down for that Wicked Riders neighborhood and putting it on the map. Another neighborhood that we have, this one also located in two different spots. You know what I mean? This one, you can find this neighborhood located in the Santa Clarita area. Not just the Santa Clarita area, but you can find them upstate in the city of Livermore. So they have several spots that they're located in Northern California and in the Santa Clarita Valley, which is the Vario SSR. SSR translating to Vario Southside Riders or Surside Riders. Either term is how it's written. And this Vario started, well, this is what I was told, that it started in the 6661 area, the Santa Clarita Valley. That it was started right here in the late 90s, early 2000s. They were in upstate, they were in the early 2000s, spreading numbers, pretty rapidly up there, because I was told just in Northern California, in several different spots and cities, that there are a total of 60 members, and in the Santa Clarita Valley, there are about 45 members to this Vario. So, knocking on about 100 members already to the Vario Southside Riders. So they do have a pretty decent size, to them, considering that they haven't been around that long. And in the Santa Clarita area, they're located close to the Santa Clarita River throughout Lakemore Drive. And throughout Lakemore Drive, their territory still extends all the way to Hunby Avenue. And Hunby Avenue, their territory still extends all the way to Soledad Canyon Road. So throughout Soledad Canyon Road, and it still extends all the way to Langside Avenue. So everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio, which is a pretty decent sized chunk of territory right there in the Santa Clarita area. And in Livermore and in areas upstate in Northern Cali, they're spread out. You know what I mean? So they got, members just spread out throughout the area. So this neighborhood, like I said, is not as large as like some of these other, gangs within the area, but the fact that it hasn't been around that long and already got to be the numbers that it got to be, because I was told that it is the same neighborhood, that it's all roughly the same neighborhood, but they started right here, and continue to hold it down for the SSR.
Watching M.O.D Entertainment. Make sure you like and subscribe.